I did not use another meter, so we're gonna see what happens if I use the second meter along with the whole combo. Ah, screwed up. Let me try it again. Again, that was 66% from what I did before, without any without the second shadow. Okay, well I screwed up there, but basically, if you try to get as many hits as possible after that one wall splat with the shadow and then another shadow with the second combo, and you know, pretending that the character missed or locked out every single hit there was, you could potentially get like an 82% combo. But it's probably one of the riskiest things to do in the entire game, because Jago gives you a lot of chances to break a lot of his combos. It's not for free. Go 78. I mean, that was pretty up there, but you know, not necessarily 80%, because I didn't do a full level 4 on the wall splat. But yeah, I mean, that's just an example of how creative you can get with these manuals. You know, the more creative you are, I like to say fancy, because in a way of saying fancy, you're mixing things up a lot, and it always looks stylish in this game, no matter what you mix up. So it's a perfect combination of fancy, useful, you know, mix-ups. Grims, how come you don't really use Shadow Wind Kick as a linker? Well, that's easy, because I like to go for a lot of damage, and sometimes, or most of the time, here, let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna do 2 Shadow Laser Swords here. Look at the damage here. So that's 19%. Now let me do 2 Shadow Wind Kicks. That's 14. So it's a 5% difference. A 5% difference between those 2 shadows added with a level 4 ender can mean a big difference. You know what I mean? Grims, when you're doing a manual with the sword, are you delaying per hit? Oh, are you talking about the laser swords? Oh yeah, you have to delay it a lot, because if you try to do it a lot earlier than usual, you'll actually nothing will come out. So you do have to delay it. Trying to manual off of a strong laser is actually more difficult, because there's more time to actually mess up and press an input a lot earlier, and nothing will come out. In my opinion, I think the laser sword is actually a lot easier, because you can kind of continue over and over again without that much of a delay. So it gives you a nice steady pattern. But if you try to do with, like, let's say, forward roundhouse strong, it's a lot of time. And although it may look very easy to do, like, again, if you do mess up on the input, you don't press it with that long delay. You might press it a little bit early, you might press it a little bit later. So there's a lot of room for mess ups, but there's a lot of time for them to be pressured into thinking what manual you're going to press next because of that delay. So check this out. That was the light, and this is going to be the strong laser sword. See that delay? That's like at least like a half a second delay, but it's scarier for the opponent. It's a little bit harder for the person doing it, because you don't want to mess up those manuals. Very easy to mess up. Let's see. Let me check if anyone has any other questions, and I think I'm just gonna open up the lobby for people to jump in and play. I think that's what we're gonna do. So, yeah, Professor Grims, this is the best dude. I've always wanted to teach. Will there be homeworks? Hell yeah, there's gonna be extra credit too. Cause I know a lot of people sleep on my classes, in my class. But yeah, man, I mean, unfortunately, you know, like a lot of this stuff is pure Jago stuff, you know, pure Jago tips and all that. I don't necessarily play as other characters, so if you were expecting me to play like Sabrewulf or Thunder, probably not the perfect place to learn. You know, although we have a lot of experienced players in the chat room that will, you know, tell you, you know, that will help you out, you know, because everyone's very forgiving. Everyone's very, very, very helpful.